everybody, welcome back to the Time Pass podcast. This is your host, Ashika. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. If you haven't done so already, please like me on Facebook at Time Pass Podcast. Follow me on Instagram at TimePass_podcast. And check me out on my YouTube channel. You can find all the episodes there, and you can watch them, like them, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can find the link in my bio on Instagram or on my website, timepasspodcast.com. And make sure whatever listening platform you're using to hear the Time Pass podcast that you are followed, liked, or subscribed, whether it's iPodcast, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you're listening to the show, please make sure that you are tuned in, liked, and subscribed. All right, you guys, we are coming up on the 1-year anniversary and the end of season 1 of the Time Pass podcast. Next week will be the anniversary episode. I'm super excited for it, and I'm excited for what season 2 brings. But I got a special guest here with me today, and it's only fair. I had my mom on the show, I had my brother on the show, and they were a little easy to convince. This is my dad, Benny Lau. Hey, Dad.
Hi.
This one took me a while to convince to be on the show, and probably because his story can probably make the biggest impact, I think, out there. But it's a serious story, and he had to get comfortable with it. So it took me a while to get you comfortable, right, Dad?
Yes.
Yeah? But I'm super glad that you're here and you're comfortable and you're ready to talk about this. But today's topic kind of is addiction, alcoholism. And Dad, I'm just going to dive right in here. I've got questions to ask you. How many years do you think... Well, first of all, Dad, have you ever struggled with addiction?
Yes.
Yes.
Alcoholism.
Alcoholism.
Now, most of the people think that anyone who's an alcoholic is a bad person. However, I hope the public do realize that it is a disease.
It's a disease.
Alcoholism is a disease.
A genetic disease,
yes.
At that.
Yes.
All right, now I'll dive into my questions. I felt it was, got to start off with a basis. How many years do you think, approximately, give or take, were you like an alcoholic, like in the sickness, full on?
Well, I started drinking at the age of 19. And
this is back in Fiji.
Fiji.
Yeah.
And by the time I was a full-blown alcoholic, you're looking at the age of 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30.
And so how many years do you think altogether were you in full-blown alcoholic?
About 35 years.
Holy hell.
35 years, yes.
Really?
Yep. 35 years, give or take. I mean, in the middle, I did recover.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
It was on and off, but the main reason probably was that I did not hit my rock bottom. And anyone who is an alcoholic would relate to this is until you hit your rock bottom, you're not done. So I would say about 35, 37 years.
Wow. Even I don't know that. That's almost the same age as me.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Were you ever in a place, now you said you started drinking as a teenager, 19, 20, around there, back in Fiji. It's not like you had to wait till you're 21 back there, right?
No.
There's no legal drinking age, right?
There it is, 18.
18?
But,
okay. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
But were you ever in a place where you could just drink socially and stop?
Yes, I have gone through that. From, say, when I was 18 till about 30, 32, 33, I could have a drink and stop. Or I could, have a couple of drinks, maybe 3, 4, 5, whatever it was, and stop. But to be honest, it could be as I was progressing into drinking and becoming an alcoholic.
Going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. It went where at times I had to hide alcohol, like a closet drinker is what they call it, where whenever I could find a chance, I would go have a sip and come out. Now, I'm not ashamed to say it, but at one stage, a 1.75 liter of alcohol, hot alcohol, whether it be scotch or vodka, would last me about 3, 4, maybe 5 days at the most. No more, no less. So, you can take it from there as to how much I used to drink.
Yeah.
Right? I have lost jobs over it. I have lost family and friends over it. Now, if you are an alcoholic, the people that you hurt the most are the people that love you the most. And, at that point, when you're not completely 10, you don't see it that way. You see it as, I want to drink, and I'm going to drink no matter what.
I'm going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I don't care who this is.
I don't care who it is,
Right.
Until I can fall asleep or pass out. So that was my attitude at that point, and it was hard, but at that point in time in my life, I never thought that I could recover, because, like I said earlier, until you hit your bottom, you're not done.
Yeah.
So I was not done, and I just went along with it, and hid alcohol in my closet, in my garden, doing the yard work, drinking.
In the
And
garage.
I'm talking about in garages, and I'm talking about cutting lawn and drinking early in the morning, like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Now, as I pass out at night, I wake up, terrible headache. Now, at that point, I didn't think, didn't realize, didn't rationalize that alcohol is not going to solve it. However, next thing was, one beer would do it.
We hear that all the time, right? It's, you woke up with a hangover, have a bit of the snake, have a bite from the snake that bit you.
Right.
Have a little bit of the snake that bit you.
And, once you start, you're not ending. So that was part of my life during those days. And it was hard.
Yeah.
But, you lose your family members, you lose your close friends. And, to be honest with you, family members, they can only do so much. And then it comes to a point where they just give up. All right, I'm out. So it is hard for them and harder for me. However, at that point, I'm not thinking about stopping because I'm not done.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, you talked a lot about that. It's funny, but these are my childhood memories, but I remember following you around. We always got along really well when I was a kid.
Right.
And I remember I was the one that knew where all your hiding spaces were.
Yes.
Because I was always following you around. The garage was the spot, y'all. It was in the garage.
Favorite spot.
Yeah, and it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but now that I think about it, I remember that. When did you think maybe I have a problem? As you're going through all this and going through your disease and realizing like how much you're drinking, 1.75 liters, hiding stuff. When did you ever think to yourself like, hey, maybe I have a problem? And what was that? Like, what were those moments?
Well, during those days, I never thought I had a problem.
You didn't. I was
No.
gonna ask you that. Yeah.
No, I thought I
Yeah.
was just a normal person like everybody else is drinking. Why can't I? Why do I have to be derived of alcohol? That was my thinking.
Yeah. Okay. So you never actually tried to get better on your own. That was going to be my next question was if you would have said yes, I thought maybe I had a problem. I was going to ask you if you ever tried to self-medicate at home.
No, I never did.
You never did because you didn't, in your mind, you didn't think you had a problem.
No.
You're like, I'm drinking just like any other Joe
person.
Schmo out
Yeah.
there. I
Yeah.
work. I want to have a drink.
Yes.
Don't stop me.
Right.
Did you ever get professional help? Because if you don't think there's a problem, why would you seek help?
Well.
But I know, being your daughter, I know you were in professional help.
Right. I went to some very expensive treatment centers.
Dude, I
now,
remember.
not for myself, but just to please other people.
Yeah.
Right? My family members, whoever it may be, right? So, coming out, I'm on it again. Now,
It wasn't even like that. I remember taking you, we would go drop you off. The best one I remember was the one in Malibu. They had a pond and a bridge. And I remember when we would go visit you there, I used to go over the pond and they had koi fish in there.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that one. But some of these times, we would go drop you off, and before we even got home, you were back home.
Oh yeah, because I was not ready.
Yeah.
I really was not ready. And that's not the first time I've done this. I've done it over and over again where I would go to recovery and within maybe the same day or within 2 or 3 days, I would be back home. Now, some of the recovery homes I went to, there was no medication to calm your nerves. Now, if you're an alcoholic, as you consume alcohol, everybody has an acetone level in his body, right? The acetone level rises. And when it rises, it stays there. So unless you have another drink, you'll start shaking. And in some cases, you'll have seizures. And that is even dangerous. But at that point in life, I never thought that I had a problem. I never did. It never occurred to me. Now, I went to Malibu, I went to Cedar Sinai, I went to Charter Hospital of Long Beach, and believe me, these hospitals would cost $4,000, $4,500.
A day, a week, a month?
A day.
A day?
With a psychiatrist, the cost of the psychiatrist, the hospital food and everything else. So, it didn't bother me. To be honest with you, at that point, it didn't bother me. I'm in so that I can just get this off my chest for other people.
No, it's more like you were getting something off other people's chest.
Right.
You're just playing the part,
Right.
playing along.
Mm-hmm. And then when I got out, I would say, well, maybe one beer is not going to hurt. 1 led to 2, 2 to 5, 5 to a case.
When you were going through those recovery centers, 2 questions, follow up. Number 1, how many total, just guess, like approximately do you think you went into that you remember? Because I don't know if you even remember.
I think I do, but it would be close to at least about 6 or 7.
6 or 7?
6 or 7.
Okay. And when you were in those centers, did you ever make any progress, or was it more of just playing the part so you could say, hey, I did this, now I'm out, leave me alone?
Oh no, I did take part in the recovery program.
But is it more like playing a part, because in your head it's like, I don't have a problem?
No, that's it.
Right?
Yeah. So that was just me playing the game without realizing that I'm here for the people that love me the most. And I'm hurting them, but at the back of my mind, there's nothing wrong with me. Because, like I said before, until a person reaches his bottom, he will never admit, and no matter what anybody does, I don't care who you are or what you are, until you hit your bottom and until you realize deep down within yourself that, yes, I have a problem and I need to get myself fixed. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen if you don't just dig down deep into yourself and figure out that yes, I have a problem. And if you're not willing to do that, I have seen other people that have gone through recovery and come out and do the same thing all over again. Because rock bottom is what someone has to go. Rock bottom means rock bottom. You have nothing. And that's how I functioned.
I think that's common, though. I think that's common.
It is common.
With any sort of addiction, whether it's
Right, whether
alcoholism
it's alcohol,
or
drugs.
drugs.
One thing, thank God, knock on wood, drugs was never part of my life.
So, you've talked a lot about your rock bottom and low place. I'm gonna ask you about your rock bottom, but before I get to that, prior to hitting your rock bottom, what was your lowest point during that whole time?
The lowest point during those whole time was in 1990 when I was left alone. Didn't have no one. Okay? Wife gets separated and I'm now alone. You know, I always think about all those days. It's a good thing to go back and you know, one thing for sure, if you're an alcoholic or if you're not an alcoholic, for anybody in life, whether rich, poor, you don't forget where you came from. And I never will, and I have never taken my rock bottom or my lowest point out of my life. I always think about it, I always dwell on it, and I look at what I have done so far. And if someone, I don't care who it is, forgets where they came from, whether a poor guy getting rich or a rich guy getting poor, unless you always think about what, you know, you recall your past, you will never be able to succeed. Now, some people may be able to do that. I'm not saying everybody is the same, but for me, that's what it was.
Okay. And during this time, you kind of mentioned it, but what was your family's role and level of support?
Well, like I said, you know, my family in the beginning, they were all there. They all helped, tried to get me to recoveries, tried to help me in each and every way they could. But it comes to a point where if someone is taking me to a well, like you take a horse to the well, you can make the horse drink, right? So I think that's their thinking at that point where we're just wasting our time. He's not going to change. So
everybody hits their wall,
yeah.
Their ceiling of tolerance.
And that's what it was. Now, did I have any grudge against them? No. Because at that time I did, but now when you recover, then you think, you know what, they did whatever they could for you because they loved you. Okay, and like I said earlier, you hurt the people that love you the most. And today, I'm blessed that, you know, I'm no longer in that category.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like you said, people do whatever they can for you, but at a certain point, it's like, yeah, you feel like he's not going to stop, so why am I wasting my time, getting my headache, getting stressed out,
True.
all this stuff over it? Because, yeah, at that point, it's almost like it's your own problem. As much as everybody wants to help you solve it, no one can.
No.
You started it, it has to end with you.
Right.
All right. So, now the big question. What was your wake-up call? What was your rock bottom? Your actual rock bottom that made the light bulb go on in your head?
Yeah. My rock bottom was when I had nowhere to go, nobody to turn to. And to be honest, I had a friend that understood. And he gave me shelter. And then I ended up in downtown Los Angeles on 6th and Figueroa, and everybody knows 6th and Figueroa what it is. It's a homeless area.
Gang.
So, you know, when I first checked in, you have to go through detox 2 or 3 days after that.
Is it like a shelter, Dad?
Yeah, it's like a shelter. No, it's not a shelter, it's a recovery.
It's a recovery.
Recovery.
Okay.
So in the daytime, they let you go out and do whatever you want, buy your cigarettes or, get water, whatever you want. And they don't charge. They obviously claimed it from the county because they put you on GR. And they give you a little bit of pocket money for your cigarettes, whatever you want to do it, or your clothes, whatever it is. And I remember one day I was just walking down and I was looking at these guys and I said, I have not been here yet.
What do you mean here? By people homeless on the street?
Homeless on the street.
Got it.
Sleeping on the street, waking up on the street, begging for a cigarette, begging for money. And the first day, I've never been to downtown LA.
Well, you'd been to downtown LA.
I've been to that, but not in that neighborhood. It's Alvarado and 6th. And the next day, something made me go back, and I did. And I went back, and I looked at them again. I just shook my head, and then I went back. I was getting 3 meals a day. Everything was cool. And then one morning, I just woke up, and now I'm reeling back to my life, right? My previous, what I did. And then, I don't know what it was, it just came to my point, Benny, listen. There were people that tried to help you, some, people that loved you very much, your family, your friends, and here you are, you haven't done anything to help yourself. You need to help yourself if you want to get out of this. So, I'm still in bed, I'm thinking, and then something just told me, Benny, what happened last night, or a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, before I went into recovery? The money you had, you drank. You fell asleep. You woke up in the morning, all the money you spent on your booze was gone, but your problems didn't. It's still with you. When are you gonna tackle your problems head on? I think at that point, an awakening happened. It just came to me, and I just realized that, this is bottom for me. I don't want to end up on the streets. So at that point, I made up my mind that, listen, I'm going to do what I need to do, and I am not going to touch alcohol moving forward. Believe me, during these times, or whenever I was in recovery, I never lost faith in God. I always have faith in God. I would pray every day or pray at night, and I never lost faith in God. And it could be, I don't know, awakening. I really don't know what came at that point, but it was something that kept and sent me a message. I'm not saying God told me. It's just something that came in my mind.
A feeling, somehow the thought was there.
The thought was there that, all right, Benny, this is it. All right, either you make it now or you might as well kill yourself. Now, believe me, there were instances where I did want to commit suicide because no one was there for me. I couldn't go to anyone because I had burnt all those bridges, right? All the bridges that I had, family, friends, I burnt it. So there was no turning that way. So now it was all on me and what I am going to do to get better. And
you can either give up or you can fight.
You could either continue, or you can fight and get it over with, and get it over with forever. And since then, thank God, knock on wood, I've been good.
Yeah. During that time, Were you ever hospitalized? And if so, how
yeah.
many times?
I've been hospitalized a lot of times. I really don't recall because
You can't
remember
remember. Yeah, you can't
I was
remember.
drunk. So family members took me to the hospital, friends took me to the hospital, and I don't recall.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was more than 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, once you kind of got sober, did you ever relapse?
No. Not this time in 2007. I never.
No,
relapsed.
prior to that.
Oh, prior to that, I relapsed so many times. I went to recovery homes. I came back.
That's what I was going to ask is how, when you relapsed, how did you get out of it?
I never got out of it.
No, but when you relapse, like, how do you get back out of it? Like, oh, I'm going to get sober again.
Oh, it was to please somebody else, right? Or family or a friend, just to please them. All right, I'm gonna go. Yes, I will go. I went. I came out. Same old story. So it's people do relapse. Maybe not everyone. I'm not talking for other people. I'm talking for myself. But for me, I relapsed so many times, and I just can't recall how many times I relapsed. But it was something that just kept it wouldn't leave me, and I was not prepared to leave alcohol either at that point. So, like I just said, 2007 was my last. So
Wait, didn't you relapse in 2010?
no,
2010, 2011? Yeah.
no, I didn't.
When you were getting the divorce. You did relapse. Yeah.
That was before 2007.
No.
Yes, before 2007. 2006 was the divorce. 2007.
Prior to 2007.
Yeah, that was prior to.
Because I just remember being an adult. I remember that.
Yeah, that was prior to 2007, and maybe that's what it was that got me out of it was. Come on, you got drunk, right? One more time, and the problem is still there. It's not going to change, Benny, unless you change yourself. And that's what I did in 2007, September 23rd. I still remember.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you is how long have you been sober?
Sober?
Yeah.
2007, 17, what? 15 years?
15 years.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever attend AA or anything like that?
Oh yeah, while in recovery, I attended AA a lot. During my younger time, when I had a DUI, I had so many DUIs, I think 2 or 3. I go in front of the judge says AA, all right, community service, I did all that. Then they give you a card, and the secretary of the Alcoholic Anonymous signs that you attended the meeting. And believe me, sometimes I went into those meetings full-blown drunk just to get my card signed.
How long has it been since you've been in an AA meeting?
My last AA meeting must have been in 2008.
2008?
Yeah.
Do you keep in touch with anybody from those days?
Oh yeah, I do keep in touch with some of the friends that I know. We talk all the time.
Yeah.
But it is, to be honest, my lifestyle changed. My work changed, and I became very busy at work, and I didn't have time. This is not an excuse. Some people may think it's an excuse. Oh, he's lying. He could go to, but I never stopped reading the Alcoholic Anonymous book, and I think by now I should know all the steps by heart.
Yeah.
But and I still sometimes say it, but it's not like I need to go. It's just that I didn't find it necessary.
Yeah. Have you ever sponsored someone? Like
Oh yeah, I
been their
have.
sponsor?
In 2007, I sponsored 2 or 3 people,
Yeah.
and they have recovered, and they have done well.
That's good. That's good. What would your advice be for people struggling with any sort of addiction, whether it's drugs or alcoholism?
Whether it's drugs or alcohol, the main thing is until you hit your bottom, and I don't care how many times you go to these recovery homes, if you're not ready, now this is for me, but what I'm trying to tell you, if you one of them, you have to look at what has alcohol done for you? What has it done for you? Has it got you a better job? Has it got your family back? Has it got you the people that you love the most back? And I would say most of the time, no. In most cases, no, definitely not. So, unless you're ready, I don't think anybody would be able to just quit just because
Cold turkey.
it's cold turkey, just because someone else wants it. It has to be you.
Yeah. Okay. What was your biggest lesson through that 35-year struggle? Biggest takeaway from your personal struggle that's like a kid. I could have a little brother or sister. That's like a kid that many years.
Yeah, biggest struggle was, not able to see your kids all the time.
No, not your biggest struggle, but your biggest lesson from the struggle that you learned during that time.
During the time that I was still drinking.
No, what you learned now, like what's the lesson that you learned from that time?
The lesson that I learned last time from my alcohol drinking is there's nothing in this world that you can drink over and it'll go away. You will get drunk, but you wake up in the morning, your problem is still there. It hasn't gone. So you need to hit it, head on. Yeah. And, move forward with life. Unless you still, now, do you think you can be a social drinker? Deep down in my heart, I would say no. However, if there comes a point where I do drink, I don't think I'd be able to recover. Maybe I would now, but do I want to take that chance? Is the thing. Do I want to take that chance? Do I want to pick up a drink, and then just one drink, maybe two, and then wake up in the morning and I'll be fine? No, I do not want to take that chance. I'd rather be who I am now. I love everything that I do now. I love my work. I love my family. We are all together. And it just shows that if I can recover, anybody can. A person drinking 1.75 in 2, 3, maybe 5 days, if he can recover, I'm pretty sure anybody can.
How do you handle yourself around alcohol now? I mean, I've been drinking wine through this episode. We go to parties and things like that.
I'm pretty sure you came to my house. I have one of the most expensive alcohol in my house, right?
You have a nice little bar. Yeah, you have a nice little bar. Yeah.
Right? And whoever comes, it's all yours. Right? I don't drink. There's no temptation. None whatsoever. Because remember, I said it earlier, you don't forget where you came from. Once you do that, you will be back on the same old track. Yeah.
I had another question for you that I didn't have written down, but it just slipped my mind. Now, I asked you to come on the show because, and I've come to you before with friends who have people that they love who have problems, and you've always, been like, hey, tell them to give me a call. I'm there to help out. We have family members that struggle. You're always there to help out. So I thought it would be really important to have you on here. But I have a kind of general question for you. Do you think brown culture romanticizes alcohol, such as in songs? Think about the movie Sharabi, think about stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
there's a huge emphasis in Indian culture, South Asian culture, drinking. And South Asian culture alone, it's not a party unless you're drinking.
That is true.
It's not a party unless you're drinking.
That is true.
At Bhea's wedding, right? We're over there having the stuff happening. I got a mini bar going on across the street at my house. Like, there's a part of our culture where we drink when we celebrate.
Yes.
And what do you think about what we see in the movies about drinking and the songs and all that stuff? I mean, Amitabh Bachchan played a great sharabi.
Right.
People romanticize that. What do you
Right.
think about that?
I think he played a very good role in that movie. As far as my viewpoint on
Our culture
our
and
culture
how we
and all
look
that,
at alcoholism.
it has always been there. Whenever there is a wedding, there will be a car, in the trunk there'll be drinks. 100%. Especially Fijians. 100%. And some people, now it's getting to a point where some people, rather than having the cops come and give them tickets, they would have a separate area in their household, away from the house maybe, where they would provide drinks for people that, just like during Arnold's wedding,
Yeah.
you did it at your house. So
Yeah.
it is, I don't think there's anything wrong because these people, they drink, they're normal people. They'll wake up in the morning, they'll be fine.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is, like, people watch that stuff on TV and in movies, and you grow up watching that stuff, and so do you think you kind of learn it? Like, we perpetuate it. Like, yeah, there's a party, I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, some of the guys, not all of them, some of them would go to a party and won't drink at all. And I'm talking about brown culture, right? But some, or they'll go home and drink, right? But some would. So I don't think they follow what they saw in the movie or, what others are doing. Some people do have their own mindset.
Yep.
Where they'll say, okay, listen, if I go and drink with these guys who are in a wedding or something, that's their wedding, I'm going to get blasted, then who's going to drive home, right? So these people, I would say, are responsible people. And, but I'm not saying those people that are partying are not responsible people. They also are. But you asked me a question and I'm just replying, do you think it influences our
Yeah.
brown culture? No, our brown culture has always been brought up like that.
Yeah.
You party, music, you sing, you dance.
And I honestly, I think it's a personal choice.
Right.
I mean, it's a movie. It's a song. Like, yeah, you can like it, but you don't have to do what it says.
True.
The only thing that I think is it is a mindset, like you said earlier. If you have a strong mind, you're gonna do what you want to do,
Right.
not what you're watching in a TV. I do think there are some people that are a little more easily influenced.
Yes.
There are some people, and they may look at something, and who knows what they have going on in their personal life, and then they see something or watch something, and they're like, I'm gonna go do that.
Right.
I think that can happen, but for the most part, I think everybody's their own person, and so yeah, we watch. It's entertainment.
Right.
It's entertainment.
That's what movies are, entertainment, right? So,
Yeah.
yes, some people will.
Yes and no.
Yes,
That's my answer.
yes, no, they will be influenced, but I doubt it very much that most of the brown culture, I mean our culture, they have their mindset already. They made up their mind even before going to a party or going to a wedding. I'm not gonna drink. I'll drink kava or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's what it is, I think.
Yeah. All right, Dad. Those are all the questions I have for you. How do you feel?
I feel great.
Did you think it was gonna be more difficult, or to talk about this, or?
No, I was taught in 2007. It's good to talk about it. It's good to talk to other people about your alcoholism, and and I knew this from way before 2007, that you don't forget where you came from. And once you forget, like I said earlier, once you forget, you will end up on the same road again. Now, some people do forget and they end up there. Some people do forget and they do better.
Yeah.
But are you going to take that chance?
It took me a while to convince you, though. I mean, you know, my thing is I knew you had a story to share, and I knew that, you know, you've recovered, and to me it was like, it's one of those taboo subjects, right? Nobody talks about it, but yet our whole family knows what your sickness was. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows what you struggled with.
My friends know. Your friends know. Arnold's friends know.
Not all my friends, like my closest friends. That's it. I don't go around advertising.
You know, it's not that. It's nothing to hide. I mean, if you can talk about it, maybe someone listening will take what I said today and will seek help. Now.
That was my point.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you really need to go to an expensive recovery house to recover? No. You can do it at home. So you can do it at home. Doesn't need to be 100% facility based.
I mean, I get that, but everything we've said before this point is, you got to be the one to want to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be the one to want to do it.
You can't do it for the people that love you. You can't. Because you're only doing it because you want to show them, okay, I'm going to recovery, so that they can get off your back. But when you come back, what's going to happen then? You'll still get back to it. 100%, because you're not ready. Yeah. You're not ready. You did not hit your bottom. And once you do, and I hope, you know, you seek help or do what is needed for you to hit the road for recovery. And that's something that, you know, I pray everyone does that, because alcoholism is a disease, all right? And
any sort of addiction.
Yeah. Once you get out of it, you know, people will now look at the back and, you know, they make amends to people that love them the most and say, hey, listen. And that's one of the things that AA teaches you. Once you get out, you make amends to people that you hurt the most. Unless making amends to them will injure them or others. So these are the things that, you know, I learned in life, and I'm happy with what I am now, and I'm happy with what I've achieved.
That's good. That's good. All right, Dad. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. You guys, if you want to get in touch with my dad, can I give out your Facebook?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want to get in touch with him and reach out or talk to him about his struggles or ask advice, I will put his Facebook link on the show notes at timepasspodcast.com. Thanks, Dad. I think a part of me, you know, myself, I thought maybe, you know, like we say in our culture, like, look, yakahenge, maybe a part of you was a little bit on the fence because you were like, what will people say if I talk about this outright and aloud? But I think it's, like you said, the amount of people, even if this episode helps one person.
Only one.
Oh, one person. That's a win.
I'll be blessed.
That's a win in my book. That's a win. Yeah. All right, you guys. That's all we've got for you today. If you haven't done so already, please follow me on Instagram at timepass_podcast. Like me on Facebook at timepasspodcast. Don't forget to watch this video on YouTube. You can find the link to that in my bio on IG or on the website, timepasspodcast.com. I'll make sure to put in the show notes. I'll try to put in some of the recovery centers that you mentioned during the episode with links to it. So if you're looking for a recovery center, you can locate those and find them, along with the one on 6th and Figueroa. Is it still there?
I don't know. I have not. I'm pretty sure it is.
I'll do my research.
It belongs to the Maryland Foundation.
Got it. Okay.
If you just search Mary Lind Foundation, LIND, should be able to find it.
Okay, awesome. All right, you guys, if you liked the episode, if you didn't like the episode, let me know. Do me a favor, write a quick review on iPodcast. I want that 5-star rating. Don't forget to tune in next week. It will be the 1-year anniversary show. It's been 1 year with you guys for the Time Pass podcast. As I mentioned, I'll probably take a couple weeks off. You'll have 2 Sundays without me once we air the anniversary episode. I'm still trying to figure it out, so figure it out. So tune in, and then we'll start up season 2, and we will be ready to go. Remember, you guys, whatever you're doing, there's always somebody out there, someplace you can get help. Reach out to somebody, talk to somebody, reach out to my dad if you want. Stay authentic to who you are. I'll see you next time.